Dream a little dream of me. Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica the Story Witch and this is my bullet journal setup for December 2019. I should probably come clean now that I'm not particularly happy with this setup. It was a bit rushed, I think. I always find that with December because I'm starting to think about setting my journal up for the next year, for 2020 now. I don't really pay too much attention to my actual setup for December, and you know, when it was just me and I wasn't showing it to anybody, that didn't really matter. And you know, it's like I do definitely find I have some months where I really love it, and I have some months which I think, yeah, I could have definitely done a bit better than this, but it's fine, it will do the job. And I went with like a snowflake theme because I thought that would be really easy. I should have probably practiced drawing some more snowflakes and things beforehand, and I would definitely do that if I was going to do a snowflake theme again. But it's fine, you know, it's fine. I stuck with a very kind of basic format because I find with December being such a busy month, often with lots of like outside of the home obligations and things, that I don't spend as much time journaling as I do in other months of the year. So I try and keep it kind of basic and manageable. You'll notice I haven't even included a habit tracker at all this month. I'm just not going to even worry about that. So I am starting to think about the habits that I want to be setting in for next year, and I'm going to take this time instead of like kind of tracking this month to just kind of observe myself and see how things are going. So for this first spread, I've just done a little kind of title page basically with some supposed to be snowflakey looking text and a couple of very roughly drawn snowflakes. If the best way to do them really is to use a ruler and make sure that your like kind of spokes of your snowflake wheel are equal lengths, or at least the opposite ones are equal lengths, so that it looks a little bit more even. You can have 6 lines or you can have 8 lines. 8's probably easier to draw because it's just like a star then when you start, but I actually prefer the look of the 6 lines, so I tend to try and do them like that. But then if you go a little bit squiffy and it's not symmetrical, then obviously it can start to look a little bit messy, but it all adds a little bit of character, so I'm just going to have to be okay with it. And in all honesty, I don't end up looking at my title pages all that much through the month. My calendar page is the one that gets the most eyeballs, I guess, and I guess my field notes and things as well. And yeah, so most of my spreads get looked at a lot more than the actual title spread. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I did think, shall I just stick something over it and start again? But I didn't really want to spend too much time, and that's another thing about this spread, is that like this whole setup probably took me around an hour to do, and usually I spend definitely longer than that. I would say probably maybe 2 hours to do it generally. So it was a very quick setup, very quick and simple, and so sometimes that's just what you need. Yeah, so I decided to go back to doing my calendar page slightly larger over the 2 pages because, like I said, there are a lot of commitments and things coming up this month, lots of things we've got planned in, and I don't want to be trying to squeeze too much into tiny little boxes. I did do it a little bit smaller than I have in the past because I think it was like 6 by 5 squares, because I want to be able to put my to-do list and my cards for the month all on one page, so it's all kind of just in one place, and the whole setup for the month is not getting too overcomplicated. So yeah, I think it'll be okay. I've got a fine pen that can write quite small, which is useful for filling in the calendar, and I can write quite a bit in those little lines. You know, it's surprising really how much you can fit into those little squares, or rectangles more accurately. So I did the same sort of swirly, snowflakey writing for December as I did on the title page, even though, like I said, I didn't really like it too much. I also did it a little bit too low, so you'll see me later on going in and having to write the days on top of the calendar, and there's like not really enough space to do it. All in all, this was not a particularly well thought out setup, but I'm sharing it anyway, like I have done in the past when I haven't been very happy with my setups, because that's life, you know. Sometimes you do a setup and you love it, sometimes you do a setup and it's not great. And if I only shared the ones that I thought were really like good, then that just wouldn't feel right. So I'm sharing it because it's real, and that is how it is. And I know lots of you say in the comments and stuff is like, that's one of the reasons why you like my videos, is because it's not like perfect and it's achievable. It's not, because sometimes I find when I'm watching, like I love watching the really gorgeous bullet journal setups, and I love it, but I also find sometimes that it can be almost demotivating, because I watch it and I think that would just take me so long if I wanted to try and achieve that, and I probably even couldn't, like my penmanship is not up to the task, that kind of thing. So I find that it makes me feel not motivated. It makes me feel like I don't want to actually do it, and that's the opposite of what I'm hoping to do by sharing these videos. Is I really want to inspire people who are watching to actually just do it, because, you know, my art skills are not fantastic, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I like using the pens. I like looking back through my books in years gone, you know, years afterwards, and thinking, oh yeah, remember when I did that? They're used and they're nice, and that's part of the power of it. That's part of the magic of it. And yeah, I'm putting my stamps all the way through. Oh gosh, I didn't even talk about that spread, but that was obviously my calendar spread, and I put my moon phases and things on there with the moon signs and stuff, as I have been doing for quite a long while now. And then this is another spread which I've been doing for the last few months. I have my field notes on the left hand page, and that is just where I make a note of things that I'm observing around me in nature, like in my immediate environment. I'm finding a lot of the time now I'm making notes on the weather so much. All the way through November was like weather. There were some things like, you know, like the holly berries are out, and the rowan berries have dropped and things like that. So it you know, there are things like that too. But a lot of the time I'm finding it's kind of weather related, whether I was like, oh, I could hardly get outside today because it was really windy and squally and everything. So yeah, but I'm building this up, because doing it over a period of years, I think that's going to give me a really good indicator of the seasonal changes and connection to the actual place that I'm in, which is in Bedwas in South Wales. And then on the right hand page, I've got just like 4 boxes basically, and the one is like what I want the month to feel like, and then I have one which is inspiration, which is like things that I come across during the month that inspire me. Then I have one for like things to follow up, so that things that I won't be looking at this month but that I would like to look at again in the future. And then I also have a box for my magical plans for the month, and I find just like a smallish box like that is actually completely fine, because then I'll flesh it out more when I come on to it. And then this spread, which is one perhaps that not everyone's going to need if you are not on like YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, but I find this is really helpful to me because I'm trying not to be on social media all the time and being more focused with my time. And so it's like a kind of content planner for December. So I know which days I've got things that I want to share, and then I know that I've got days where I'm not sharing anything. And so if I do go on social media on those days, I can just kind of enjoy it and read other people's posts, and I don't have to be kind of sharing stuff. So yeah, I'm finding this working really well to help me feel organised and on top of things, and not feeling like I need to be checking in all the time, because I was finding that was getting a little bit overwhelming. And then yeah, just some notes of like things I still need to make for December, and plans that are coming up for 2020. I've already done actually in November in this month a plan of what is going to be included in my setup for 2020. So I'm going to start filling that in over a period of probably over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to set up my new journal. And then this is my kind of dailies, and I started this type of setup last month with having 4 days across the page, and it's really great. I love it when you like try something like that and you're not sure, because I've tried doing like sort of doing my whole week over a double page spread. I've tried, my most often is to have like one day on a page, but then obviously you go through journals really quickly doing that. But this setup has actually allowed me to see like 4 days at a time, which for us as a family kind of works really well, because I can see like what we've got coming up in the next couple of days. But it's also not overwhelming. I can see my like to-do list for the days easily, and if I'm migrating tasks from one to another, which happens quite a lot, it's really easy to see that kind of move along to the next place. So I'm really excited actually about this setup and this spread and how it works, really how it functions. It would be helpful, I think, for me to have somewhere on there an actual like to-do, so that I don't have to necessarily assign certain tasks to a specific day, but I will work with that and kind of evolve it as we go on. Like I said, I'm not particularly happy with it, but it will do the job and function for me for this month. I'm not going to fill this in on camera because I want to kind of finish this video now. Maybe I'll take a photo later on to show all my card and stone and things like that are going to be for December. It's going to be quite a powerful month with the eclipse and things like that coming up at the end of the month. This page I actually quite liked. I'll be filling that in through the month. And this I'm going to get started on today. Actually, I've got some plans of the things that I'm going to be releasing during December, videos and stuff like that that are coming up. And things to create, head start on 2020. I can't believe we're already there, really. And then, yeah, just my day spread. And let me see if I can flip back to, this is a similar sort of setup as I was using for November. And I've just been filling in like my tasks for the day and then what I'm eating, my plans for what I'm going to eat that day. I don't do the same thing every day. And then I find I'm just using for journaling, then I'm just like turning over and just free journaling. And then next time I get to a next block of days, I'm just taking this as a block of days. And that seems to be working really well. So I'm really happy with that. So that's it. Not great. And I'm sure you can do much, much better. Thank you so much for watching. Warmest blessings, and I will see you very soon.